need something to note down, please note down everything that you need, because in some time in the future. Before we move on, I'd like to recognize some dignitaries in analysis and development in South Sudan. Let's give him a round of applause, please. All right. Welcome. Miss Grace Michael, as I appreciate her for coming. Mr. Kenyi Frederick, who is here right with us. Let's give him a round of applause. So we're going to have, briefly, I'll be speaking about Shabab Sawa organization. So be giving a welcoming speech from the representative of the Chagai Foundation, a panel discussion where our panelists will be invited and we'll start our discussion right away. And after the discussion, Esbon, who is the Commissioner of Juba County event. So we're going to be blessed by his presence as well. Program, and then we'll have a brief photo. We'll give just a few announcements, and with that, we'll call it a day for today's session. All right? So about Sawa organization. For you to know, some of you, it might have been your first time. I'd like to know who is or what is Shabab Sawa and what are they doing in South. A youth non-led youth-led non-profit dedicated to empowering South Sudanese united youth for unified communities, underscores our commitment to foster our missions. At Shabab, so our mission is to catalyze the community development by addressing pressing issues of young people and equipping them and cooperation among diverse communities. And thirdly, our active and social change. Youth empowerment. We ignite 4 years, Shabab Sawa inspire the next generation of leaders. Secondly, we have one such secondary school students to discover their potential and to invest in their future. Across Juba, providing them with essential skills, youth development and creating pathways for success. Now, our programs. And in conclusion, I'd like to say, as we look ahead, Shabab Sawa remains steadfast in its commitment to empowering South Sudanese youth to join us in this journey towards a brighter future. Just a brief introduction about what we are aiming to achieve during our course operations.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, call me Grace highlights about what Chagai Foundation is all about, what we are doing, our vision, our mission, and what Foundation is a woman-led organization. The CEO of Chagai Foundation, she's called here, but due to some reasons she can't manage to come. So may you accept her of South Sudan. And also our mission is, and we also our core values are integrity, collaboration, equality. We are all gathered today, working open day, which comes, maybe you are asking yourself, okay, you are saying youth and you are yes, because women mean that today they will benefit from this program. In the first session, I was so inspired because the youth space here in South Sudan, and also the panelists. So, my fellow youth, it's your day. Get to know everyone here. You can share with them your experience. You can share. We are all here for you today. This day is
for the whole of this event. So let's appreciate the foundation one more time. A round of applause for whatever we have been able to help us. So now we'll be having our interlude to our panel discussion. We have our sister who is a poet. So, like we said, they are all good and their own benefits in the future. So we are going to be welcoming our...
I'm called Algorithm, that's my name. So I'm very delighted because majority of the people who are here are youth. And my poem is emphasized on the kind of challenges that those that end up not reaching their dreams that they've ever dreamt of, and those ones that ever reach their dreams. So I may say take this poem as something that is inspirational and can be beneficial to us all. So let's hear it together. The title of the poem is A Blissful Pain. Dear little Mr. You or Miss You, I understand how miserable and vulnerable you are to some attacks. I understand how helpless, defenseless, and powerless you named yourself. I understand the several attempts you took, the many battles you fought, even going some days on foot, thinking you might get a vote. Yet, with every rise of the sun, only cries your heart and dries your home. Relentlessly and less compassionately, draining. Look to the other side. Hear your inner person, and come on, let's fry the negativity little pursuit to claim out that success. To ignite your ambitions despite every obstacle. Don't give in even if you don't see it as strong need it. Don't stop fixing even if you don't see the result. Don't go weary, sinking, because your candle was blown off by the moving air. Your sleep for betterment should be your daily meal. Yes. At the end, it will be both the win. Keep planning, keep yawning. Can you imagine how it sounds? The triumphant joy that comes, and the best moments that awaits. Keep. Thank you.
So you have shared, I believe, the message was clear to discussion. There is one person who is going to be moderating our discussion, who is going to be... We just give you a brief introduction or biography of who Mr. Peter Okello is before he moderates. Mr. Peter Okello is a well-respected journalist from South Sudan, known for his integrity, professionalism, and dedication to provide accurate and unbiased information. With over 16 years of experience in the media industry, Peter has proven himself as a skilled professional journalist. Contributed significantly to various projects in Kenya, and in Kenya, he trained refugee senior journalist for the Dawn Daily English newspaper in Juba in 2016. Worked as a consultant and news anchors, that is in 2016. He was also a consultant to evaluate UNESCO's media training in South Sudan through the multi-donor media East Africans in 2017. Symposiums and debates on new media in many African and overseas. Currently, Okello has a youth forum show on Radio City, Uganda. He holds postgraduate diploma in international peace and conflict. He holds certificate from Hiroshima Peace Builders on peace, building and development. Peter has 4 distinct relations: broadcast journalism, advertising, and communication from UNICAF. He holds a certificate in English language proficiency from PhD candidate university in Japan. His research interests are all. Welcome the panelists and to immediately start our discussion. Let's give him a round of applause as he starts.
I really did not know it goes to mine. This guy came with a stick. So, but my profession is big, so that's my qualification. Forget of the rest. First of all, good evening. Are we all okay? Right. Happy to have you all. My job is going to be very simple. I will be the moderator for this program. And moderating this program, we are going to stick to the time. I will introduce the panel members, the well-experienced, distinguished panelists that are going to be here for today. And as you can see in the screen, so what they come. So I will do that. Once that is done, a little 1 minute each. Again, maybe I might have not pronounced the name well later through the introduction, all of them. And the question will be cross-cutting. And then when that is done, please feel free to prepare your questions. This is going to be an engagement session. We are going to talk about how to overcome challenges, of course, and while taking hold of the opportunities that are available within the business setting. And this is going to be within the context of this country. You permit me then to just briefly go through to introduce our able panelman. Mr. Dwalti he's a South Sudanese young gentleman, and he is within the space of entrepreneurship in South Sudan. He has done a lot. To what extent he will tell us when he's here, and that's why we are having him today. Dwal is the CEO of King Power Group Limited, and is the co-founder of the Association of South Sudanese Entrepreneurs. So we do have the Association of South Sudanese Entrepreneurs in the country. So Dwal is the co-founder and is the chair as well. Dwal, as a member of ASSE, advocating for youth participation in nation building, and of course, in handling all cases related to entrepreneurship. So he's an accountant by profession, and he's a former deputy manager operating. Dwal had to leave in the profession he is at the moment. And so he did that diligently and intelligently by moving on and pursuing a career. Dwal holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from one of our respected universities in the country, the University of Juba. Ladies and gentlemen, then permit me, in a very respected manner, let's just give one round of applause as he walked. To show him, we will sit right next to him here. But of course, take your time to look at both properly and prepare your questions. If you're this person who would ask questions by just looking at the next panel member is one that do not need much introduction, but because we are in a professional setting, some of you who have come across, who have heard his name, who have known his activities or have known him in person, I would agree to the fact that he's one person that does not need much introduction. But let me, to not waste much of your time, I am about to is Dr. Addis Ababa Utau, a Condit PhD, who he is, about background, and if I'm to go through his credentials and all his achievements, trust me, I think I will not permit. But then, let me just make it more briefer. They say the shorter the thing, the sweeter it becomes. So I'll leave the rest to him later. In economics development at Saudi University, the same university. A few years later, Dr. Addis holds PhD in political economy at the University. He as well, after completing successfully his second phase. In between, he has been working. He worked as a teaching assistant before recruited as a banking inspector at the Central Bank of Sudan in Khartoum, that's in 1997. As a bank inspector, he has participated in the financial and accounting. Some of you know Ivory Bank that we do have at the moment, but then that was Sudan currently, Southern Sudan then, but now South Sudan as an independent nation. At the moment, I tell you, a lot of that I need to just squeeze it a bit. Applause as Dr. Addis Ababa comes just to my right to be able to be with us at this particular moment. I hope all gentlemen, all of you are well and you're good. We will go straight and then the question will follow.
Aiming at bettering South Sudan. I'm called Dwal, the Association of South Sudanese Entrepreneurs. I am also from Juba University, 2010, and pursue my quest for entrepreneurship. And I understood that creating something new other than employment, they feel lonely. So that's Martin. So it's a blessing to be here on behalf of the association and the South Sudanese Entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Joel. Dr. Harris.
Thank you very much, Peter. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm by name Addis Ababa Otto. I am who he said I am. I don't want to add more. I've been working in the banking sector for quite some time. So you make me feel like I'm too old. I still feel like I belong to this group. I'm still youth. Yes, I started working from 19. Yeah, but that is not why we are here. We are here for to learn from each other. I believe with 100% assurance that he knows or she knows everything. No one has monopoly on knowledge. So as you are here to listen, I'm also here for questions, and maybe before you know, I would also learn a lot from. I think let me stop there for now. I know there are many questions coming. Peter is here to raise so many questions. So thank you very much for listening.
What should you tell us that the entrepreneurship body is doing? And just briefly, what does the entrepreneurship look like in the context of South Sudan that you've been there? And you have like 1.5 minutes for that.
To explain entrepreneurship, it will need more than 1 minute and 30 seconds.
2 minutes then. We agree? 2 minutes. All right. Let's go.
You've heard the saying that this face the community that we are in, and especially for us as South Sudanese. We can ourselves earn something from it. If let's assume Chagai and the group, they're also gaining something and pushing. The first time when you plan right, when you put your plans and you put how you can monitor that plan and how you can get feedback, you can say about the entrepreneurship is a body for South Sudanese to come together to talk about the government. But we created this platform for you to come and talk to the government, talk to the relevant industry, like Chagai is here. He's never turned down an invitation for us, and I'm pleased and honored also to share the stage with him. He is also passionate, use challenges, and always shows great support to us. So this is what I can say.
We'll be there. We'll come back to another part of that. That's only an excess of the beginning of the planning. Dr. Addis, the banking system, and how can you tap those who have done accounting, those who have done business management administration, those vis-a-vis who have graduated, but then they look at anything. The banks are there, but is this bank for them?
No, thank you very much once again. Is equity for South Sudanese? Is it the bank that is meant to empower the youth, the women, and all the entire community? Now, if I can take you back a bit, when we got our independence, you have seen the role that the government, I'm jumping to other questions that you might raise, we have seen the government came up with so much policy, but one of them was to encourage the developments, the establishment of the banks, the financial system in the country. So you have seen the Forex Bureau coming up. We've seen so many banks, and by supporting and by empowering the people as the goal put it, start for those who are in income population. They want to transform their lives by giving them integrated, normally should be supported by bank. That is a normal activity, if you can put it simply. Means, if I can take this group as a group with a surplus, people with so much money, and they might not know what to use or what that money. So what they do, they look at a financial so that others with idea can now get supported through their surplus. So basically that's what it is. I will admit that we were not in the bank, in the entire banking sector in South Sudan for the last 13 years. But again, before 2013, we have seen some of the banks that have contributed to changing and transforming lives of so many South Sudanese, including civil servants. So I want to stop there, but I think there are a lot that we can share together about the role that bank can play to change our lives.
Dr. Addis, I will hold you to that in a second, but let me bring Dual in. Dual, in the year 2022, one noble gentleman in Konyo Konyo told me that Okello, he actually called through the program that I host already. And he said, Okello, I'm a graduate from the University of Juba, and I've done business management and administration, bachelor's. I'm in Konyo Konyo, I'm pushing wheelbarrow. I've been looking for a job, but he pushed wheelbarrow and he gets something. He goes home with it. Having that gentleman in mind, linking it to the entrepreneurship, I want you to speak to this gentleman. Where did he go wrong? Do you think the border business is doing in Konyo Konyo vis-a-vis those who are thinking it as, I have a degree, why would I go to Konyo Konyo and push wheelbarrow? I'll link this later on to the saying that the opportunities for businesses are not available in the country, and that also the foreign members are taking over the business of the nation. But I want you to speak to that cause. Is the gentleman doing the noble job, or is it that he should have joined the entrepreneurship association that you have?
Thank you. It's a great question. Let me speak to that gentleman. Imagine, I want you also guys to imagine with me. And sometimes, if we do not have some, very generous about sharing information. So this guy, he called me. It's like, are you a millionaire on the cover? And then they start judging. And that's an easy thing to fall to. And so we start also again with being aware of, maybe other people will start criticizing the gentleman for doing the wheelbarrow work. But it's now you should have self-confidence. And self-confidence doesn't mean you will be immune to other, other people critique, but you will understand your worth and you know your journey. So it's again, start just do the wheelbarrow things for the wheelbarrow things, then you need to have a thought. So it would be looking beyond that. So it's just something that you can grow. So that's what I can say.
Maybe you want to add, feel free to add to from Dual, but I would want to ask you a specific question. We need to look at how can financial institution play, the role specifically that financial institution can play in assessing capitals for the small businesses in the country.
Now, again, let us look at that gentleman. And I just want to, there are three things that I picked from Mr. Dual. One, you know, if you don't look in, you can call it self-awareness, self-regulation, you call it the inner person. You know, your intellect, coupled with a vision. So if you know yourself first, then again it's a mindset. If you know to be, that should be the beginning of this. So it doesn't matter. The degrees can be there. Some people will tell you, but to complete my engineering, medicine, to do what so many. But again, you are born with some gifts. You are talented by birth, and you know that you are good in this area. Why do you want to think that the only area that you can succeed? Remember, the degrees is to sharpen your thinkings. The learning, those kind of gathering, is for us also to get better. But again, what you are passionate about is what matters. Your success will depend on how you look at things, the mindset. That's why that young person, for him, even if he want to venture into a new area of investment, and he has no capital, definitely he will be able to sell his idea passionately. Because sometimes we are quick to say, my brother, and it seems like he's making money. So this is something I want to do too. And you come with a proposal, you call it drive it into the bank. But when you go into a kind of discussion with a credit officer, you might not be in a position to maybe sufficiently answer some questions. And then this bring kind of doubts. And the moment banks doubts of your ability, because actually your mind is not in that business, but you want to copy. The moment there is doubts of your the same business, it also questions your ability to repay the loan. Remember, banks keep only money that belongs to others. As I said, those with surplus. So they would want to make sure that those who are looking for loan, for support, access to capital, access to finance, for whatever reason, they are passionate about those a project that have seen some light or success. The banks are there, and as I said, I want to admit that maybe banks might not. But again, people have to be very passionate about what they want. It doesn't matter.
With regards to what you say, what qualifies a business owner who would want to have? Can you tell us how best can I design my proposal that would that would grant me financial assistance from as a loan or whatever it is that can this is indeed accepted that I can get this grant for me to begin a business.
a fresh business, definitely they will have so many challenges to get access to finance through the bank. Why? Because the first thing bank look at is what is that you've been doing, so the cash flow. What is that you've been doing now? If that is that measure that will determine, again, we are also forgetting that sometimes, entrepreneurship, maybe the situation around you has pushed you to do so. If you work, being a government company or a private company, your salary can qualify you what we call consumer loan. Now, that can be the starting point. So if I work with salary regularly, that's very important, underline that word. So then that can be used as a way to get loan. You don't need any security, no problem. You just show the appointment letter. Now you get what we call a personal loan or a development loan. Now, the introduction into the banking system. The moment you manage to pay off, that you build a credit history. Hear me well. Someone might say, why should I go to the bank for 5,000, 3,000? That will not even be. Believe you me, banks always believe in those figures, even if it's 1,000. And the moment from that level to the next level, where you now again will not look into who is this that I want to deal with. And I think really to look into something that will take you. I will support your business. If you still the official look at it, look so successful, they're viable. So what they will do, I ask you to bring someone along. They will say, I can see you were introduced by, and we are thinking of, is for people to come together. Shabab Sawa. Come together every month, is seen, there, use that saving. Let me say this, so that maybe this is a very interesting point. I know that it will raise so many questions. In Kenya, there is a product within the credit facilities. They call it group lending. A group lending was meant for those who we thought cannot really think of coming up with some business idea. But what they did is because they see themselves walking into the bank, opening an account, they organize themselves into the group. There can be a tea lady, a shy, those who are selling things as a team to put aside a saving of each and every member saving. Now, what happened is the moment, of course, they will grant that member paid off the loan, it will graduate from that group lending into my own in other environments. Maybe the way we see ourselves as brothers and sisters, if we organize ourselves that way, and we don't see whether those genuine, all those excuses will be put aside one. Because what are banks for? Banks are there to make money out of you. So bank would not want to see someone who would want to take money, because that is not what it's there for.
We have business tycoon in mind because we have a lot of ideas, but then these ideas are not brought out. He said it very to get loan, and there's this 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of steps that you should follow. Are you doing that? An entrepreneur or that business person you want to become? But what? You guys going well? Or there's a lot of issues here and there? And if they are, what is
the truth? Entrepreneurship, it's a new concept. It has been there, but during the 60s, this is when it became a thing. The banking has existed long before. The banking are not made to invest in ideas. That's not what the banks are for. And if you're an entrepreneur here, you want to go to the bank, they fund collateral against cash flow. That's what they do. You know, you can talk the sweet talk for 2 days, but you will not get a loan. You have to see your cash flow, because now again it can be interpreted on individual preference or relationship. So that's you have to understand this. But you have to also know as an entrepreneur, and also me, if you come to me like Dr. Adis say, you want me to guarantee, I won't do that. Because the truth is your first business will fail. My first partner in business is here. The first business we wanted to do was an ice cream. We want to do it in Wow. Ice cream? I don't know. But we have learned from that experience. The business never saw life, and the best way to talk about it is to joke about it, because understood that you can't start a business in a location that you're not there. You cannot also just assessing. And there are other things that people assess only. Sometimes you assess the skill set. But you also have to understand that there are other complaining. Yeah, they know how to do things, but he's a complainer. You bring that person in your team, what he will do? He will turn the group into everything. So as an entrepreneur, what I'll tell you is maybe the subject of loan, leave it for big ideas. But again, there is the end. Other people, because most of South Sudanese say, oh me, I can't start because I don't have capital. In 2021, I did a business with one of the telecom company. I lost most of the money. It was 410, and when I received my money, it was 800 and something. I was demanded an extra $150,000. I couldn't sleep, you know. So, but sometimes you'll come back and you will discover that you're stronger than what you actually know. You'll find strength that you never knew that existed, and there are people that will come to your aid. So just believe in yourself and talk to people, expand the circle of your opportunity. First of all, it died because we did not do the market analysis first. We did not also, you know, look into our competitors if there are people there. So most of the things we did not plan well. We did not also follow up. We did not monitor. We did not get our feedback. So it was a flop. But again, if you don't give up, you have a chance to learn, because that's a lesson, you know. So either you learn or you succeed. So if you don't succeed, just don't give up and continue. Again, I'll tell you that business has failed terribly. My partner is here, he can say more.
We give him a chance later. But okay, let's leave that on that way. Dr. Adis, I want us to look at the international international opportunities that exist, that South Sudan would collaborate, the entrepreneurs, for example. Are they avenues that the international organization or international opportunities are there that collaboration is possible for the entrepreneurs that we have in this country?
Yes, we have realized that even a bank with they have might not be willing to venture in investment sectors, and if we take agriculture for example, then is seen or considered to be a risky sector. It can be the investment wing of World Bank, the IFC, or African Development Bank, FAO, some UN agencies who are there willing to partner on what we call a risk-sharing arrangement. I don't want to use so much to you, but what it means is UN agencies or international funds coming to say, I can see an opportunity here.
and many of your people are not grappling, is untapped. We would want to support group. Please join us in a partnership. We'll do the who will be qualified, but we join to ensure that this becomes a bank product, risk sharing arrangement, so that that pool is given of any potential failure or for potential defaults, because it's there and it's there in the business. So yes, they are there. I know it's because of our market condition. I don't want to say whether that's the market condition. We remember in 2012 there was a program that is meant for agribusiness, was and would have actually make a use. But again, it did not work. IC was also here, and because of the water that they moved out. IC provides some also security, LC. The same for African Development Bank, FAO, and the rest, just to partner to see whether they can support so much potential, especially agriculture, really to venture into this sector, because there are a lot of things that have happened this year, especially.
No, you add that point in 1 minute.
Let us not forget, around us, the entire economic sector, the businesses, in countries. This is also a fact. But again, to invest in any sector, here is maybe struggling with is why are they getting support while we are not? It has been actually a concern of so many people. Again, some of them came, but because they have that mentality, creative, looking into ways and being passionate about it, they find their ways. Some of them started by bringing second-hand mobiles. Pour your heart into what you want. Seriously, this is a good forum.
Really a keynote there. Pour your heart into what you want, and you'll get it. But let me just, it will certainly tell you that if you got this place with one block.
I think there are a lot of challenges, and I think the biggest challenge is us here. I believe we would have more than not together and create something. After me creating King, what I understood that as an individual you can go as collaboration, having people that have different background. For building something big. You see, sometimes most of us here would just stick to what we know, and that's what limits us in groups and support each other. That's the power of collaboration. We need to do this, because anything that you see as big as it is, it starts small. Strengths and just work toward your goals.
Okay, Adis, you want to add anything there?
Let me add on that. And some of us who are businessmen and women, you know very well, whenever you enter into the business and it picked up, the first challenge will come from family. Simply because inequality.
They see you push his own or her own problem to you. My kids have not gone to school. I want to be supported. I want to do ABC, and if you say no, then you and your parents will issues. What you cannot, definitely you can't do more. You don't want to break your neck to please. We've been facing a lot of things. Those who are in the market. Sometimes you don't know how to price your goods or your. You don't know how your SSP will be valued to. Time can be the reason why some of the businesses fail. That can be the reason. But I believe that I'm my brother keeper, I'm my sister keeper. Why we don't come together and support each other? Somalis are doing the same. Eritreans are doing the same. Last thing that I have in my pocket should be given, I will give. But why you don't give that for the there are many, but those are the real challenge. Let us also learn how to separate things. But so it be, if it means it will help that particular person to reason to change his or her life. So you also need to think a bit ahead.
And so that we don't stay here for long, and so that what all the good things you are saying should not be us. So when a question, I do not know who is going to help me. The microphone, I don't know. We'll take 5 questions first. I don't know. We'll take 5 questions first.
I will be very precise. You talk of do you see you are generating from the income or the commission to do the banking? We have the foreigners who also are having the dollars and they are not coming to bank. What policy, right the time you have been in central bank and right now equity, how did you deal with Afghanistan?
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Tex Stephen. But it's my second time to the Sessions Hub. First time was sometimes 2021. To Mr. Dwal. Regarding the youth in South Sudan, you're the chairperson of the Entrepreneurs Association of South Sudan. Youth in South Sudan have 3 characteristics, and the 3 characteristics is that 1, they are unwilling to engage in certain work, and if they are trained to do those kind of work that he's talking about blue collar jobs, if they are trained, the unwilling ones, go ahead and give them the reason or the incentives for doing that work. Those who are made from unable to unwilling, they will overcharge you for their services, and we will opt for picking maybe somebody else who's not a national. Is that the case? And to Dr. Sawa, who one trade was not mentioned in the introduction, that at one time he was the deputy governor of the Bank of South Sudan. This question I would like to connect it on that particular perspective. Now that you are the managing director of Equity Bank, I believe it's for the second time also. Coming from the background of public sector, Bank of South Sudan, the recent policy by the government to call on all public servants to open bank accounts with any commercial banks. Do you think the right word would have been any commercial banks, or with the emphasis on local banks? Because we all understand that foreign banks are taking over and local banks are unable to pick up with them. And if you may also connect to that, the bank you represent is a foreign bank. What does it do to encourage local entrepreneurs? And also, why is our currency not trading in the country in which this foreign bank that you are representing is in Kenya? You don't find South Sudan currency trading there. But when you go to Equity Bank, you find the Kenyan shilling is also trading on your exchange rate. Maybe if you can expand on that. Thank you very much.
Please go ahead. Okay, thank you. My name is Tom. I work with a company called Unitech. I just done this. So one of the first things seen you was, you were the deputy in the Central Bank of South Sudan. So what was the building? So we don't know what is inside there. If there is an opportunity for young entrepreneurs, so we want to know what. The money at home. So what are the best ways to serve the business money? Thank you.
What is your name, sir?
Yes, good evening. My name is Daniel Wagler, the CEO of Bridge Mines Enterprises. Dr. Addis Ababa has already been asked by my brother there, so I will not repeat it. I will just go directly to Mr. Dwal. Mr. Dwal, is South Sudanese Entrepreneurs Association an open platform for all South Sudanese entrepreneurs? If yes, what are the benefits that one should consider joining? Because if it is an association that is just there, it will not be of much interest to us. But how is it going? That's what I would like to know.
Of a brass company and Kimo Motors bond. You have agreed that there is a problem of bank sector in South Sudan. What are the reasons that let them not playing that role as we expect from them? My second question, talking about market condition in terms of managing businesses in South Sudan, is it a lack of learning and also lack of getting essential tools that they can manage their business in a good way, especially in pound stabilization, especially inflation that affecting our country right now? Thank you.
Thank you for raising about the market segmentation. As the association concerned, is our body is mainly to advocate, but this is in the long run. But currently, we are working with the Chamber of Commerce. This is in regard to the second question. I think it was something to do with the commission. Another question was asked also. It's about have incentive to put their money in the bank and what we are doing about it in the association. I think recently some circulars that are hindering the business. The restriction of the withdrawal amount to 10 million. That was seriously maybe we can say the blunder. We have been talking also with Dr. Addis, because actually banking, because money itself, it's just a paper. I have to also pay, and we have some restriction on South Sudan economy. There are certain money industry. Mr. Steve, they are unable and sometimes unwilling, and also they are over ambition. Was that we make sure that we educate young entrepreneurs and also existing entrepreneurs. If you try anything wrong, the market will spit you out. I guarantee you. It's not about being South Sudanese or being a foreigner. The market will always spit you out if you don't regulate. So we tackle this through training and capacity building. We have also a master class. We have an informative forum, which is a monthly forum, is where we bring city council to come to talk to young adults. And also, we don't forget the other gender, which is the half of South Sudanese population. Women are, but now it also has the raising of young females who are doing well in business, just to also show a role model for young adults to also follow. Yes, Mr. Daniel has asked if the association is an open platform. What I can say, this is a body that represents the South Sudanese entrepreneurs. If you have any, it's more of a training that's championed by one of the keynote speakers like Mohusi. They come and South Sudanese and tell them also that to look beyond their geographical location. So if any person having knowledge and also see that the association can deliver more on this, and they are highly welcome, and we are open, the platform is open for all South Sudanese. That's, I think, as far
as well has talked about it. I will try to the one that was raised by Bums. You see lines all the way from the regulator on questions. If I'm not given maybe interest in return, maybe if the banks are not offering say an avenue for investment, why would I put some money in the bank? So I think what in South Sudan now is put in activities that are to empower, that are meant to change your lives. What are those activities? We call it in economic terms productive activity. Now, how do you do that? You come out to ensure that the entire banking sector followed to channel the access fund to area where country based. If it is agriculture, that means there are policies that should come out clearly directing access fund to those who have an idea. And that again, if it comes to issues of bringing money into the banking system, the first thing is issue of trust. Again, banks are seen to be there trying to make money out of those poor populations. Let me just put it generally. Now, the banks are there to mobilize when they see an opportunity to channel those deposit mobilization to other areas where they see that those will use it for investment, create opportunity, and etc., etc., etc. So yes, central bank is there to guide within the monetary policy. Now, again, Ted has told me whether the civil servant were asked to open an account with the banks. Should it be banks or particularly the National Bank? With Muslims, that the one that always survive. If you restrict civil servant to open an account, maybe it's not their choice. I might not want to put my salary in a bank that we don't have a structure that take care of the deposits. In other environments, other jurisdictions, you do have deposit protection funds. Should the bank go bankrupted, you are assured a certain percentage of your deposit. Now, that is not the case here. I'm not advocating for the national or foreign bank, but again, people should be given a choice to choose, because it is you who would tomorrow go back and say, oh, bank, through capacity building. It's not that we don't help them actually to bring about those changes that we want. Servants, the public, the nations. against the real challenges. The legal framework in this country is. What do I mean by that? Simply put, if I have to take, I might not know whether that land is owned by one individual. That again, that is not our main concern, because we are not in the business of selling the plot of land. English court that can speed up the process of now recovering your loans. In other jurisdictions, you will find there is a special court that has been established. Unless you cannot go, if that is the case, then it will be very hard for a bank to go into this. But the majority of nationals and a foreign bank, when they established back in 2005, this market was very liquid. They are more in transactional operations, what we call non-funded. We trade in dollars. This is the market of dollars. And everyone wanted to be in that area, in that space, trading in dollars. Bank went into that. And they were so liquid. Some banks, and I speak on behalf of equity, before the 2013, above 70% of the loan book in this country. Look at the figures. What's the figure? Civil servant. And yes, those who wanted to venture into any kind of investment, they are simple because they knew there's so much opportunity where you can compensate your losses in a loan with other transactional gain through the commission. And they were doing very well. The report speaks maybe if you look at the report, 2020 like never before, and that's the truth. So yes, there are challenges. Why banks are not doing their parts in terms of regulation, in terms of legal framework, in terms of even the market conditions. But again, they would be forced, especially when the rates merge, they converge, when there is no any differences, no margins, no huge margins. The bank will be forced to really go back to their core businesses, or else they will be forced out of the market. And that's why you can see many big buildings, projects, factories that are supported by banks. And that's the truth. It's a fact. I think, Hamis, I hope I have sufficiently answered your question. Let me purely speak here as academic. Don't misquote me, because I'm not in the public sector. I don't want to talk here as the MD of Equity, but maybe because of if you look at what had happened in this market, reaching the indigenous on so many good provisions from the investor did not utilize, if I might, the opportunity that were there before the 25th, stretching out money here and there to empower the nation, to make business out of those quick gains. There is no one that we can blame for except for ourselves. Because those who grab those opportunities, they are now so far, nationals and the foreigners and whatsoever, but again, are we the government position or through other It is something that we have learned from 2016, 2013, and all sitting here listening to each other. Learning and relearn from each other. Learn from what had happened. That on itself is so encouraging. With some ideas today, and you know, might be what you had designed. Yes, there are challenges, women, that is true. But again, who will change? The association, through what the little that we do in terms of capacity building, in partnership with the association, but also through sharing.
So I just want to keep it brief. Thank you, Dr. Addis, and thank you to all. So I have you in mind. Don't raise your hand. 3 questions, and each question per one person, but it could go to all the panel members. That's not a problem. But 1 question per person. 3 or 4.
My question is going direct to Dr. Addis. Most organizations in our country are led by foreign nationals who in turn give businesses to their own people. Dr. Addis, to break this kind of bureaucratic business chain. In other words, you might find there are organizations in our country led by their okay. Somebody will come here as an expert